High atop the Andes or distributed across the Sacred Valley, the ruins of ancient Incan civilizations reveal the grandeur of another world. Search the heart of the Inca Empire, exploring Machu Picchu, the grandest of all the Inca sites.
This attraction captivates guests not only for its architectural appeal, but also for its important historical and cultural legacy. So remote and inaccessible that it was left untouched by the Spanish conquistadors, Machu Picchu was a secret known only to those living in the region until Hiram Bingham rediscovered it in 1911. For the variety of its charms and the power of its spell, I do not know another place in the world that compares to it, said Bingham.
Tucked away in the rocky countryside northwest of Cuzco, Peru, Machu Picchu is believed to have been a royal estate or sacred religious site for Inca leaders, whose civilization was virtually wiped out by Spanish invaders in the 16th century. For hundreds of years.
When the Spanish arrived in Peru in the 15th century, they destroyed a lot of the Inca constructions and sacred sites during their conquest, building Catholic churches on top. One of the reasons that we can visit and marvel at such a well-preserved, archaeological gem of a citadel today is because the Spanish never found it. This is partially due to its remote location, but there is also evidence that the Incas themselves, as they abandoned the city, burned some of the constructions and paths around so that it was not so easily spotted.
Therefore, what we can visibly see today of Machu Picchu is only about 40% of its entirety, and the rest remains covered by the vegetation to try and preserve it as best as possible. Since the early excavations, there have been some restorations and very limited reconstructions, but it remains one of the best preserved archaeological sites of its time at about 75% original.
Many different theories exist about Machu Picchu's purpose, a royal estate, prison, and a secret ceremonial center among them. Indeed, dozens of alternate hypotheses have materialized, with scholars interpreting it as a trade hub, a station for testing crops, and a women's retreat. Several modern-day experts do believe it was a royal retreat for Inca emperors and nobles. Emperor Pachacuti, who ruled the Inca Empire from 1438 to 1471, is believed to have frequented the city.
The Incas had knowledge of incredibly advanced construction and stonework techniques, and when you visit Machu Picchu, you will be able to see just how impressive and organic their constructions were. It is almost like they were painting, but with rocks, as they followed the natural shapes and curves of the mountains and landscapes, rather than cutting through as we would nowadays.
The Incas were some of the best masons in the world. The stones used in this construction were cut so precisely that they fit together without mortar. The structures were so well built with a technique called ashlar, that not even a knife blade can fit in between stones. These ancient walls have withstood hundreds of years of wind, rain, and even earthquakes.
Machu Picchu is open year-round. October through April is the official rainy season, but it can rain at any time. And while peak season is July and August, you should always expect crowds. Sundays can be the most crowded, because that's when people who live in the Cusco province are allowed into the site for free, in addition to the daily quota of 2,500 paying visitors.
The easiest way to get from Cusco to Machu Picchu is to take the train to Aguas Calientes. It's a scenic 3.5-hour trip each way along tracks that run right along the Urubamba River in the Sacred Valley, with dramatic canyon walls on either side.
The most famous way to hike to Machu Picchu is along a section of one of the hundreds of Incan roads built as the empire expanded.